It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and I just realized I'm wearing the same shirt I wore the last time I saw you guys on this show. No joke, this is actually the same shirt that I wore last week before I eventually had to take a break because I was sick. As you can tell, my voice is still kind of feels like it's very much not the same as it usually is, but I'm much better now. The fever is gone. I just got to deal with the rest of this the cough and like a little bit of a stuffy nose, but I'll be okay. And I figured now is the perfect time to get back to this particular show. I wanted to wait until I had enough of an area where I wasn't coughing as much as I did before, and we are now at that point. So we are back to looking at the movies of the 2006 summer movie season, and this particular weekend is July 28th, 2006. We have 5 films to look at today. Michael Mann's latest film. We also have a comedy starring Brittany Snow, Ashanti, and also Sophia Bush from One Tree Hill, and along with Jesse Metcalfe from Desperate Housewives. We also have Woody Allen's follow-up to Match Point, and also just one of the most enjoyably fun movies I've ever seen. Just a great movie, great little indie film that came out this weekend that went on to become an Oscar-winning film in its own rights. But we'll talk about that later on in the show. But let's get to the biggest new release of the weekend, which is undoubtedly Miami Vice.
Are you afraid of violence? We're here for business. Violence is real expensive. They live their lives undercover. But on July 28th...
Man, that's Jose Euro. These guys kill everything.
Take years to set up a deal like this. It's not how you get in.
They discovered my guys were undercover.
But how you get out.
You're all mine now.
Fire. From the director of Collateral and Heat. Miami Vice. Rated R. Starts July 28th.
Miami Vice is, of course, based off of the TV series from the 1980s created by Michael Mann, which made stars out of Don Johnson and Philip Michael Thomas, and was really one of the biggest influential shows of that decade. And it ran for 5 years. It was one of the biggest shows of NBC. Is at peak NBC when they had that. It came out around the same time they had that just incredible '84 season with the Cosby Show becoming the massive hit that it was. And just everything was just coming up. Everything was just coming up big for NBC around that time. And Miami Vice was one of the big hits at that time. Now we have a new modernized version of it, starring Colin Farrell as James Crockett and Jamie Foxx as Ricardo Tubbs. And in this movie, they're NDPD detectives who go undercover to fight drug trafficking operations. And this was Michael Mann's follow-up to his big critical hit Collateral a couple of years ago, which is still a fantastic movie. I've talked about that movie several times. And, of course, I got Jamie Foxx coming back for this one. And when this came out, it was not the big hit that the studio, I think, was really looking for. It actually didn't get the best reviews overall either, but it has definitely grown in appreciation over the last couple of years. And quite honestly, it's hard not to see why, because of all the TV adaptations you could do with this, why not have the guy that made the original Miami Vice come in and do a new version for a new generation? And here, he makes it work very well. Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx, I think, work off each other very well as Tubbs and Crockett. You got a good cast that includes Naomi Harris, Gong Li, John Ortiz, Kieran Hines, Justin Theroux, Eddie Marsan. Just a really good ensemble cast in this movie. Some comparisons to the Bad Boys series I could definitely see that maybe kind of turn people away, but the movie itself really is a good movie. I was one of those people that really liked it from the get-go, and it took me a long time to get back to seeing it again to see if it actually held up. I watched it again not too long ago, and I'm glad to say that it is indeed not only held up, but it has gotten better over time. I think it is a really good movie. It's definitely one of the more underrated movies that Michael Mann has done. It's a really good movie. Even if you never saw the original Miami Vice TV series, there is a lot to admire from the visual aspect, from the storytelling, the great casting, the cinematography, the music. Just, it's a really great film. I can't recommend it enough. Definitely seek it out. Miami Vice. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our next movie, which is maybe the biggest surprise hit of the weekend, and I should know because I was one of the people that went to see it on this weekend. Yes, I went to go see this movie that we're about to talk about here, and that is, of course, John Tucker Must Die.
This story is about John Tucker. He is the man, captain of the basketball team. He lost it to the homecoming queen and the prom queen at the same time.
You are so sexy when you speak French.
He's got 2 girlfriends. Whoa, scratch that. 3 girlfriends?
Have you ever dated John Tucker?
Hey, he's mine. Stay away from him. I am dating John Tucker. This guy is cheating on all of you and you're beating each other?
We have something in common.
We all want to kill John Tucker.
What are you girls up to? Just drawing him in. All right. Play nice girl. Your mom is so hot.
If we combine all of us, we can make him fall in love with you and we'll yank it all out from under him.
Who's a new cheerleader?
She's not into high school boys.
This is Kate, and she'll be taking Nancy's spot. What? It's just a sprain. Sorry. John loves girls on top of the pyramid. Hello?
I'm obligated to buy you dinner. I'm captain of the team. You're our new cheerleader. You just enjoy the most amazing girl in school. Can I hear you ride home?
Hi. What do I do?
Are you a good kisser?
Hold his gaze. Your lips might just touch, but not yet. And then you give him one light kiss.
Holy drama llama. Kiss her again. Do it.
Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me?
You should totally wear underwear to school.
Freak like me?
I got you a present.
Ooh.
I want you to wear them.
I'll be right there.
Your girlfriend was fun like me.
Dude, those are for ladies.
What? They're breezy, they don't bind, and they give you just enough swing.
Don't you wish your girlfriend was
Unbelievable.
John Tucker.
Must die.
All right. Hasta la vista, mother.
Don't you dare give me that look. Of course I went to go see this movie. I'm a 17-year-old boy. You know, you got some of the hottest teen actors at the time. You have Brittany Snow from American Dreams, Ashanti, Sophia Bush from One Tree Hill, Ariel Kelby, who I've seen in a ton of stuff before. You know, the poster is literally the back of a woman's ass in underwear with a shot, using her hand as a shotgun. Of course I went to go see this movie. What the hell do you expect from me around that time? But, yeah, I admit that I went to go see this movie, and this is, of course, a story about a plot centering around a trio of teenage girls played by Sophie, as I mentioned, Ashanti, Sophia Bush, and Ariel Kelby, who plan to break the heart of school basketball star John Tucker, played by Jesse Metcalfe from Desperate Housewives, after they learn he had been secretly dating all 3 of them and pledging each is the one. They recruit a shy, unpopular girl played by Brittany Snow in their scheme to publicly humiliate him, which Brittany Snow is an unpopular girl. Yeah, clearly, a beautiful woman like that, a beautiful girl in high school like that, is a shy and unpopular person. Like, she would never be popular before these girls came into her life. Yeah, you've got to really accept the level of stupidity that this movie has to offer, because there is a lot of it. And first time I went to see it, I let it go. But then when I watched it again, I could honestly tell you that, yeah, this movie has not aged well at all. And this movie is pretty bad. I can't said before the reasons why I went to go see it, but honestly, I went to see it because this is directed by Betty Thomas. Betty Thomas has made a lot of movies I've really liked. The Brady Bunch movie, The Late Shift, Private Parts, Dr. Dolittle. I even liked I Spy, but this was kind of towards the end of her run of really good stuff, because after this she would do Alvin and the Chipmunks The Squeakquel, which surprisingly was her best movie overall, but best performing movie at the box office overall, and yet it's probably her worst movie in general. This is right up there, though, second worst, but it just, you can see why the movie doesn't work. It's a movie that's, like I said before, it was made to get a guy like me who would never go see these movies to go see it. It's just like, what, you got to go from American Dreams and sexy lingerie, you've got them doing promiscuous things, you got her kissing the girl from One Tree Hill, like, yeah, of course a prepubescent 17-year-old me is going to go see this movie just because of that, and I accepted it at first, but yeah, I can admit now as time goes on, this is not a really good movie. It's a pretty lame movie, though, too. Like, it's not funny, it's not clever. The only thing I thought that was kind of funny, I will admit, the scene is that scene in the trailer where Jesse Metcalf is still wearing the thong and all that. It's just like, what? It helps me better, but play basketball better, and they show it like stuff like that. I'll give them credit for that. That was actually pretty good. The rest of the movie, not so much. It's a film that is definitely not aged well over time, and I think the movie I think a movie like The Other Woman with Cameron Diaz, Kate Upton, and Leslie Mann, which kind of has the same plot overall, I think does this plot a whole lot better. It's much more funnier. Plus, it has a PG-13 rating, so that means it's allowed to go more raunchier than this movie does. This had a PG-13 rating too, but you can clearly tell that this was being made for a teen audience. They didn't want to go too far, and I really think that a movie like this should have gone too far, much further than it has here. I mean, the movie is called John Tucker Must Die, and that's kind of a title should mean we're in for a dark comedy. We should be in something for like Heather. We should be in for something like Heather's, like something on that type of a level. But we don't get that in this movie, unfortunately, and the film suffers because of it. It's just not very funny. You know, I can look at the beautiful looking women all I want to here, but like I said before, visuals don't make the movie. Even if it's not just the effects of the visual effects or just what I'm looking at on screen. But yeah, it's a movie that clearly knows exactly what it is. It's a film that is just trying to be that date night movie to play on the opening weekend and then never be remembered after that. It's going to be forgotten quickly afterwards. And I mean, it was a hit, and you do every once in a while see it on TV. Like I have seen it on FX and Freeform as of late. This past year, I think it's been on a couple of times. So it's not one of those movies, kind of like what's another one? Sweet Home Alabama, or some other movies we've talked about that show up on TV all the time, and then really just kind of everyone watches it every once in a while, but then nobody ever really talks about it afterwards. At least that's what I get from it. Because honestly, yeah, I went to go see it. I didn't mind it back then, but I'm not going to say it's a good movie now, because it really is not a good movie. Like, as time has gone on, I've realized that, yeah, this just isn't worth it. So, yeah, I'll pass on John Tucker Must Die, easily. So, with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our next movie, a film I did not mention in the opening here. The latest film from the director of Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, and that is the animated feature, The Ant Bully.
Auditioning for the Ant Bully, the role of terrified ant number 1697.
Run! Run for your lives! The destroyer is coming! I am terrified!
Thank you!
It is Destroyer! Come with me if you want to live!
Expecto Patronum! Wrong movie.
Run! Run, I say!
Pardon me.
What, yes?
You're not an ant, are you?
I can do ant.
I'm sorry, we need a red ant.
I can do red!
Yo, I'm ant number 1697. I'm here to send the destroyer straight to heaven. You best believe that.
Oh no! The destroyer has come to destroy me because I'm an ant now!
Excuse me, did you just paint yourself red?
No!
Yes?
Yeah, listen, the movie is called The Ant Bully.
What about the bully role? I can do real me. Watch this. You, Daddy Ant.
I'm sorry, the bully role has been cast already.
Oh.
Yeah.
To who? You're just a little kid. Aren't you the cutest thing? Oh, my goodness. I'm okay! Cut!
And that's why this movie bombed at the box office, because, I mean, just look at that teaser trailer. That's the teaser trailer. That was the trailer that was supposed to get everybody hyped up for the movie, and all I got from it was, wow, this movie is trying way too hard to find a demographic to go for. But this is The Ant Bully, based off of a children's book that I never heard of before the movie came out. And you have a story that's set in suburban Las Vegas, where you follow a young kid who's played actually by the voice of Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender, who is neglected by his family and bullied by him and his friends, by this kid and his friends. And he attacks the nearby ant colony out of frustration. But a wizard ant, played by Nicolas Cage, creates a potion to shrink the kid. And after being shrunken down, he has to join forces with these new friends, including characters played by Julia Roberts, Regina King, Bruce Campbell, to defeat this exterminator who the kid called who threatens their colony upon signing the contract. And did I say he was voiced by Paul Giamatti? I thought I did, but then I didn't. But he's voiced by Paul Giamatti. And you also have Lily Tomlin in here as well. The movie just really is. It's weird. Like, it's complicated. I'll say that. I mean, it's a movie that isn't bad per se, but it's definitely all over the place. Like, it's weird because the director of this movie and the director of the movie that comes out the next week also worked on the same movie together 5 years ago with Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. And I don't know if there was like a feud going on between the two. One person went to one studio and one to the other, but it's weird that they have two movies coming out in the same weekend. But the one we'll talk about next time is the better film, obviously. But this just feels like a film that is just has some ideas to it that could be fun, but it can't decide on what direction it wants to take itself or what kind of a story it really wants to tell. It just wants to show off these big stars that they have. I mean, you got Julia Roberts, you got Nicolas Cage, Meryl Streep is in the movie too. I forgot to mention that. But you've got all these big names in here: Paul Giamatti, Bruce Campbell, Lily Tomlin, Regina King, all these big names in here. But they really don't have a whole lot to do in general. They're just really showing off just the fact that they got these big stars, and that's about it. I mean, there's nothing really engaging about the story in general. There's no real good life lessons that being learned in this. Like, the jokes really aren't all that funny either. The animation can sometimes look pretty good, but sometimes can look pretty silly at a number of different times. And it doesn't help that this film also had a huge thing where everybody was pretty much laid off who was making this movie. No joke, the company DNA Productions, who also did the Jimmy Neutron TV series, they essentially were laid off while this movie was getting made. In fact, if I remember correctly, the Jimmy Neutron TV series, I think, had just ended when this movie was coming out, so that makes a whole lot of sense. But, yeah, this is the movie that is just... It's a weird movie to talk about, because, honestly, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. It just feels like a film that at times has potential to be worth something, but then other times it's just kind of like it really is lost in what they're trying to accomplish here. It just feels like a film that has so many different ideas that they wanted to work with here, and it really doesn't have anything in particular that really makes me say it's something you should check out. It just feels like a film that kind of came out of nowhere, and with all the talent that they had in here, this movie should not be coming out of nowhere at all, but nothing really is happening in here to make me say that this is something you should check out. It's just it's a lazy film. It's a film that doesn't have anything of value to it. Sometimes it can have a good moment here and there, but it's not enough for me to say that this is something you should check out, unfortunately. So, a hard skip on the Ant Bully. So with all that said, let's go ahead and move on to our next movie, which is Woody Allen's follow-up to his critically acclaimed Match Point. That is Scoop.
My next trick, I'm going to need a volunteer. This is the first time on stage?
Yes.
You're an incredible human being and a credit to your race.
Last night, when you put me inside that Chinese box,
Yeah, the dematerializer.
a spirit materialized.
I'm a reporter, and I have the scoop of the decade. It's got everything. Big names, murder. Write this down. Peter Lyman, son of Lord Lyman, is the tarot card serial killer. This has been the biggest story to hit London since Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper. Is that capitalized?
You're in over your head.
I'm a journalist sitting on top of the biggest stories of all time.
Yeah, for a college paper.
That's him. Let's follow him.
You know, I think you could probably get this guy to get interested in you. Particularly if he's got a twisted mind.
I'm Peter Lyman.
Jade Spence.
My father's giving a garden party at the estate. I'd love you to come.
This guy's a serial killer. He could just kill at any moment.
I've heard that part. That's when I knew I was going to make other plans.
Let's be honest, this movie only has one reason for its notoriety: Scarlett Johansson in that red bikini. I mean, Jesus. But this is Scoop, the follow-up to Woody Allen's Match Point, which also stars Scarlett Johansson. And in this movie, she plays an American journalist who joins up with a magician played by Allen, being guided by the spirit of a reporter played by Ian McShane to investigate a British aristocrat played by Hugh Jackman, who might be a serial killer. And I talked about this movie recently in a blog post, and I'll just kind of say what I had to say with that one. This movie isn't. This movie isn't bad, but it isn't good either. Kind of like with the Ant Bully, it's just okay. It's a film that I think helps because you have a really good cast that can really push this to another level. But as far as the script goes, as far as the mystery goes and the comedy, it's pretty lackluster overall. There just isn't that spark in there that Woody Allen had in his couple movies before this that made it kind of work. And I think it's one of those rare blemishes of a pretty solid latter half of the decade that Woody Allen would have in particular, because he'd have this, and then he'd follow it up with later on with Vicky Cristina Barcelona, and then he'd do Whatever Works, and then follow it up with a couple movies later with his magnum opus, in my opinion, Midnight in Paris. But this is definitely one of those movies where it's not good, it's not bad, but you kind of expected a whole lot more considering who was involved with the film. And I really was disappointed by this particular movie. So, overall, not a bad movie, but definitely could have been a whole lot better. So, with that said, let's go ahead and get to easily the best movie of the week, in my opinion, and that is Little Miss Sunshine.
The Message on the Machine. On July 26th, one comedy event
Little Miss Sunshine. Little Miss Sunshine?
is causing mass hysteria. Don't miss the film Roger Ebert calls the funniest laugh-out-loud audience pleaser from the Sundance Film Festival.
Oh, jeez, I'm being pulled over. Everybody just pretend to be normal.
Little Miss Sunshine, rated R. Don't even think about missing this one.
Oh, I most certainly did not miss this one. When it came into my theater finally, I was there opening weekend. I just had to see this movie, and I'm glad I did, because what more can you say about this movie that hasn't already been said? Little Miss Sunshine. It stars an ensemble cast who play members of a dysfunctional family who take their youngest, played by Abigail Breslin, who's of course the sister of Spencer Breslin, to compete in a child beauty pageant. And the trials and tribulations that happen over the course of this trip. A lot happens in this movie, and really, I friggin' love this movie, man. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a great indie comedy that's not afraid to go dark when it needs to, and it goes dark, man. Like, at times, there are times when, it's not afraid to take it to another level, and it just works on a number of levels. There's a lot of great performances all around, a lot of heart to it. It was really one of the first real independent movies that I went out of my way to go check out in a theater, and I'm glad I did, because, like I said, it's just such a great movie. The cast is great. You got Greg Kinnear, Toni Collette giving these great, strong performances, Abigail Breslin making a great leading film debut. The real highlights of the movie are Paul Dano, who doesn't say a lot in this movie, but he gives such a great persona to this character he plays, and you can't take your eyes off of him when he has to speak finally in the movie, because he's got this storyline in here where, he has to, where he's not talking for a specific reason, and there's a point where, they realize that, he wants this job so badly, and one person has to tell him that, because you have this little specific thing, you can't be this thing. And then when it finally happens, he has to act now. He actually does give it a lot of an element to it that really makes you feel bad for him and really get behind him whenever he has to do something that happens critically in the last big thing that happens in the movie. Of course, you got another great element in Steve Carell, who this was really his first major dramatic role that he was in, that I saw him in after many years of seeing him as a comedic actor. And, this was years before he finally got a nomination for Foxcatcher. The dude showed he had a potential to be a great dramatic actor right from the beginning here. And I think he's shown time and time again how great of a comedic actor and a dramatic actor he can really be. And the last big highlight of the film, man, Alan Arkin, who famously won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor over Eddie Murphy. And as much as I would have loved to see Eddie Murphy win it for Dreamgirls, I'm sorry, man. I loved Alan Arkin in this movie. He's great as the grandfather. He's great in this film. He definitely deserved to win the Oscar, and it was just a really solid performance that was perfectly solidifying what made Alan Arkin's career as great as a whole, because he was also a great comedic actor back in the day before he eventually evolved into the dramatic actor that he eventually became. And like I said, he gives it 110% performance in this movie that just plays so very well in this film. And I love the movie builds up to provide a lot of great social commentary on the concept of kitty beauty patches. This was done years before we get these controversies about what's going on at these kids' beauty patches. They did this years before those, and the ending of this movie, the way that they come to this conclusion when they realize how messed up these pageants are, is just so pitch perfect. It is one of the most satisfying conclusions for a movie that I have ever seen in my life. And it's a shame that these two directors have not really done much since then. They've done a couple movies I really like too, like Ruby Sparks. They did Battle of the Sexes, with which also stars Steve Carell and also Emma Stone, which I thought was really great. But this is easily their best movie. Little Miss Sunshine is one of the quirkiest, funniest, most heartwarming comedies of recent memory, and you are definitely doing yourself a major, major disservice if you don't check this movie out. It is more than worth it. One of the best movies of the year, easily, Little Miss Sunshine. And so with that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. The next time we will finally get to August of 2006 with 4 movies to kick off the new month. With Will Ferrell's Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. We have the aforementioned other animated film from the people behind Jimmy Neutron, this time the writer. Barnyard, the original Party Animals. We have the horror film The Descent. And we have Robin Williams and Toni Collette once again starring in The Night Listener. So we will take a look at all 4 of those movies on the next episode tomorrow. Hopefully. But thank you guys so much for watching. And like I said, I'm glad to be back doing this. And finally get past this illness I've been dealing with the last week or so. But I'm glad that you enjoyed this video. But if you did enjoy this video, please go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe button, and the notification button so you get updates on when new videos come out. Also, check out our playlist. You can check out some of the other episodes we've done, including our last episode. And I will see you guys tomorrow for another episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, take care.